Here's a look at today's schedule. We've got some crunch clashes to come later on. Poland up against France, and Greece take to the floor against the hosts. And a quick look at the Group A standing. Slovenia have already qualified actually for the final phase with 3 wins from 3 games. Now it's about booking top spot for them. Iceland will need to win their last 2 games to stand any chance of qualification. So it's Iceland, backed by vociferous support once more against Slovenia to kickstart an action-packed Tuesday here at EuroBasket 2017. I'm pleased to say I've got Mark Mills alongside me to take in all the action. Mark, what are your thoughts on this first game?
It's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, first versus last in the group, but Slovenia have been very impressive so far in Helsinki. They've dealt with the challenges along the way, and they're really growing into a formidable force within EuroBasket 2017. Iceland, on the other hand, they're entering only their 8th ever EuroBasket game today, and they're still hunting for that first ever win. Unfortunately, I can't see today being their day. They have battled hard, but their lack of size has cost them early in this tournament.
Well, Slovenia are off to a great start. You mentioned that. They're undefeated. Just how far do you think they're going to go in this competition?
Well, I think they could go all the way. The Slovenian backcourt is developing into one of the best in the tournament, and the support that their front court is providing in how they execute the pick and roll game is absolutely textbook. They've caused their opponents major problems from that side of their offense. Their perfect record is absolutely well deserved, and this could absolutely be the year where they make their way onto that podium for the first time in the history of Slovenian basketball.
Lots of crowd support inside the Helsinki arena. Got that winning feeling at the moment, Slovenia. Iceland are still searching for it, but there have been plenty of positives for them, Mark. How can they hurt Slovenia today?
I think they have an opportunity to hurt Slovenia, and you know, most teams in the post-game press conferences have said that Iceland have caused them issues. They'll be disappointed from their outing against France. 36 points is a tough loss to take. That said, they play with so much passion. They battle hard in every game. Today's a big ask, but they'll give everything they've got, and who knows, that might just be enough.
Well, their coach, Craig Pedersen, was saying that he wanted his team to compete for 4 quarters, to keep the game close. And so far they've shown glimpses, a quarter here, a quarter there. But to hold it together for all 4 quarters is the key to winning games at EuroBasket. Let's see how they go today. We'll get underway in a moment, but first, it's the national anthems.
First national anthem of Slovenia.
And that perfectly sets the scene here in Helsinki. In many ways a mismatch, as you see Goran Dragic shaking the hand of the Icelandic captain, Hlynur Bæringsson. This is basketball at Stjarnan in the Icelandic division. Dragic, of course, in Miami. Here are our referees, Alexander Glisic from Serbia, Zafer Yilmaz from Turkey, and Apostolos Kalpakas from Sweden. Well, Slovenia have got ample EuroBasket experience to call on, a lot of quality from top to bottom in their roster. Luka Doncic there, he was particularly impressive in their last game. The 78-72 win over Greece. It'll be interesting to see who stars and stands out today. Goran Dragic, particularly in those first two games, was the standout performer. But where do you see Slovenia succeeding today?
Oh, I think it's absolutely right to highlight Doncic straight away. He's grown into this tournament, averaging 13.7 points per game, 7 rebounds a game, 3.7 assists. He's filling the stat sheet pretty much in every column, and he's growing as an international star every single game. Outside of that, Vidmar in the front court is a warrior that every team needs.
Stephenson, he was the standout player in Iceland's last game. One of the encouraging things, I guess, for Iceland was the fact they got 79 points against the French there. Defence took a little bit of a battering, and today that's where they've got to shore things up. Yeah,
it absolutely is. They need to increase their intensity on defensive end. That's something Coach Pedersen has raised on numerous occasions. But looking in there, the one great little standout is the young guard Hermansson. He's had an impressive tournament, 11.3 points per game, joint leading scorer for the Icelandic side, and shooting 39% from outside. So the point guard's had a great tournament.
Hermansson in the starting five alongside Wilhelmsson, Stephenson, Paulsen, and that experienced Hlynur Bæringsson, the captain.
Yeah, Paulsen's had an interesting one. It's a bit of an up and down tournament for him, but he's going to be important. He's averaging 11.3 points per game as well as Hermansson. So I think between those two you'll see the majority of the scoring. But looking at the two highlight players, Stephenson had a huge game last time out against France, 23 points, and Prepelic has really complemented the backcourt duo. 16 points, 4 boards, 4 assists against Greece, really doing everything his team needs.
Coach Igor Kokoskov, who is himself Serbian, doing a fine job leading out Slovenia here at EuroBasket 2017. And Craig Pedersen has given a lot of credit to the Icelandic band of support which are here day in, day out in the group phase to support their team. They haven't given them a victory to cheer yet, but importantly they have played with pride, and actually Iceland have played quite well.
You have to give them all the credit, and it was interesting to hear Coach Collet's comments after the game against France for Iceland. He said they don't have the same tools as the other teams, but they play with so much heart that makes up an awful lot for that lack. So they're getting respect throughout European basketball for how hard they play.
Well, so far Slovenia have been very reliable with those 3 wins. No big wins yet for them today. And they'll have to guard against complacency, having already made their way through to the final phase. They are eyeing up top spot here in Group 8 today. They face Iceland. Here we go then from Helsinki, Finland. And it's not taken long to get the first score. A matter of seconds for Jaka Blažić to tip in and give Slovenia the lead. Iceland playing in the white here, and it's up to Bæringsson looking for an immediate response, and Doncic gets his first rebound.
And Bæringsson's going to have another big game. The 35-year-old has been a warhorse throughout the tournament, and he'll need to have another standout game to hold Vidmar at bay.
Doncic into the aforementioned Gaspar Vidmar. And Dragic with a quick pass into Blažić. And that's good. work at the board there from Byrington. Wins the first battle against Vidmar. Paulsen from the top of the mountain. Good! It puts Iceland into the lead.
And that is a big play. Paulsen is critical. If Iceland are going to walk away with a win from this tournament in one of their last 2 games, Paulsen will have to step up and hit big points.
Vidmar. There's Jaka Blazic. Just escaped the draft of Hermansen. Doncic for 3. Just left it a little short. And Hermansen mops up for the Icelanders. Order Wilhelmsen. Stephenson going toe-to-toe with Dragic. Stephenson returned nicely, but couldn't get the shot to roll. Dragic all the way into the lane, and that's bread and butter stuff for Goran Dragic.
Yeah, that's way too easy for Dragic. They're going to either have to close their lane off or put a body on him as he's going to the basket.
Here's Byrington for 3, and Iceland hitting their straps from the perimeter.
Maybe that's the way Byrington reduces the impact of Vidmar. Take him out to the perimeter. Vidmar does not want to be playing defense out there.
Doncic puts it up for Vidmar, who's now in the lane. Quick pass into Blazic, and he puts it up and in. Wilhelmsen to Byrington, tries his luck for 3 again, this time misses and by a distance. Blazic to the front court. And then out to Doncic, another 3-point attempt from him. This one he doesn't get a go. Stephenson all the way up to the rack, doesn't get it to go. Byrington recycles out to Hermansen for 3, and what a start from Iceland.
Iceland will be very confident from their start that they've had here. They just need to keep it going. That's what Coach Pedersen talked about. They've been in games. It just needs to extend how long they're competitive for.
Dragic, mid-range 2, puts it up and in. Iceland dealing in 3s. Quick start to the game. Byrington, throws possession away. Blazic on his own, puts it down.
These little mistakes, just a poor pass from Byrington. Blazic in the passing lane, easy finishing transition.
And that confidence boosting start, that might just check their progress a little bit. Now Stephenson getting all the way up to the rack and can't get it to go. Byrington trying to palm it back to the perimeter. It's picked up by Muric, this is Dragic. Good work by Jaka Paulsen.
And that's the defence they're going to have to apply on Dragic. They're going to have to make sure, one, they're checking him in the lane, so they're putting a body on him in the lane, and then that they've got that double team coming across to help. Dragic one-on-one is going to beat pretty much any player in this tournament. So important that they work together as a team to stop the threat of Dragic.
Here's Paulsen, a little bit of an open trail into the lane, and he makes no mistake, and it's encouraging signs for Paulsen. We said how important he would be. Doncic. 13.7 per game, wide open 3 from the top, and he drains it.
That's disappointing from Byrington. Didn't even come out and try and challenge Doncic on the wing. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw Acox come into the game for Iceland soon.
Pass, and Byrington puts it up and in. He drew the foul from Vidmar as well, and we said it would be tough for Byrington up against Gaspar Vidmar, but encouraging start for him.
Yeah, it is interesting to watch though. Slovenia being served a little bit of their own medicine with the pick and roll game at the top.
Misses the extra. Level scores midway through the first quarter. Dragic, clever pass that was out the back to Edo Muric. Now Vidmar up against Byrington. Muric from the top. Good!
An awful lot of the work that Vidmar does in the post is just to create space on the perimeter.
Stephenson. A rebound claimed by Luka Doncic. Averaging 7 a game is the Real Madrid start. It's well blocked off by Wilhelmsson, and it's fallen for Stephenson. Now Byrington, quick passing play from Iceland. Palsson get the better of Muric. And in the end, was it just a little bit too frenetic, the passing play from Iceland?
Yeah, a little bit too much. I think it's important that they move the ball. They're going to have to move the ball quickly to break down the Slovenian defence. But just a couple of wayward passes and it quickly escalated. As expected, Byrington goes to the bench and Acox comes in. Interesting to see how that changes the game, makes them a little bit more mobile.
Muric into Vidmar. Looks like Pavel Ermolinski will be coming on shortly for Iceland. Doncic, shot clock down to 3. Got to use it quick, and does, but misses the shot. Muric there to claim the board. And Vidmar puts it up and in, but was it too late?
Slovenian players protesting that it hit the ring and there was no shot clock reset. The shot clock resets there, hits the ring again. Couldn't quite see if it reset again.
Anthony Randolph getting ready to come on court, replacing Muric. And it's the first time Anthony Randolph's played international basketball. It's been a little up and down. What have you made of his contribution for Slovenia so far?
Yeah, it's been exactly that. It's been a little bit inconsistent. He's let his head kind of get ruled by his heart a little bit in some games. If he can temper that, he gives Slovenia a very interesting option in the front court.
Serious athlete. Here's Palsson, puts it up and in, and wow.
Great move by Palsson. Just to clarify on that last Slovenian offense, they actually got given goaltending, so they got given 2 points. That's a strong move by Palsson. As we said in the build-up, he is an important piece of the puzzle for Iceland, taking himself up to 7 points. That's promising signs for the Icelandic fans.
He's probably the sharpest shooter they've got. Dragic to Klemen Prepelic. To the big man, Gasper Vidmar. Dragic into the lane, goes back out. Randolph, first shot for him today. And he sees it come back off the iron. And now, here go Iceland in the front court with Fredriksson. Now Hermansson for 3. Oh, from way downtown. Martin Hermansson gives Iceland the lead.
That's a huge shot. It's their 4th 3 of the game already, shooting 80%, 4 from 5 from outside. And Slovenia need to slow this down. Again, that's not great defense by Prepelic. He went under the screen, should have gone over it, should have contested, not close enough.
Timeout called by Slovenia.
We switch with the 4-man and we don't switch with Gappen. We never said we're going to do that. It's a game plan, execution. Okay, hustle back, match up. I'm not sure. Sure, okay? Pavel here, Acox here. Pass to Acox, cut through, pin down for Martin, okay? If it's not there, Pavel, you're going to come back with this one, right? Or Pavel come up, Acox, give it to him, and you come with one, okay?
Interesting to listen to the Slovenian timeout there. Coach Kokoskov just reiterating that wasn't our game plan, stick to the game plan. Referring to some of the switching they're doing on the defensive end. They're trying to keep their bigger players from having to defend the perimeter. So they don't want to switch. When Vidmar's player comes up and sets a screen, they want Vidmar to stay with his man. And whoever that screen is set on has got to fight over the screen, has got to battle through. And so in that situation, he's talking about Prepelic. Prepelic has got to get through the screen. It's not a consideration. Vidmar will not come out onto the perimeter.
Well, Iceland have been impressive from outside of the arc. They've shot 80% so far, 4 from 5 attempted.
Interesting, Iceland switching into a zone defense now.
Here's Doncic. Prepelic from the top of the mountain, just leaves it a tad shy. And Ermolinski claims the rebound.
And that's exactly why they've moved into a zone defense. It's going to help them control their defensive boards.
Palsson from the top. He had such a good start, Palsson. You assumed that you'd see the net bulge, but in the end he missed by a distance. First shot he's missed today. Dragic trying to put Slovenia in front here. Finds Randolph with the pass, and Randolph finds nothing but net.
That's great spacing by the Slovenian offense, causing issues on matchups in the zone defense for Iceland.
Fredriksson denied by Randolph. Dragic got to feed it back into Anthony Randolph, but Ermolinski got something in the way.
Yeah, good defense by Randolph, protecting the rim for Slovenia, and initiates the fast break.
Going to have Byrington and Acox on here together. John-Arne Stephenson also reintroduced to the court. Ko Chanchar for the first time today. Randolph, long two. Good work again from Fredriksson. The smallest players on the court, jumping high. Ermolinski to Byrington. Back out, Ermolinski for three. Do you think Slovenia will be content to allow Iceland a lot of three-point shots today, or will they look to limit it, given how well they've shot early on?
Yeah, I think they'll have been reasonably content before the game started to give Iceland shots. They're only averaging 25% from the perimeter. That's not great shooting, so it's a little bit surprising that they've come out and averaged 57% in the opening phases.
Gunnarsson. Ermolinski. Maybe they've been working on their perimeter shooting in the rest day. Here is Fredriksson getting all the way up to the rack, and he finishes in style.
Yeah, smallest player in the court, Fredriksson, going up against Doncic, a good defender, but manages to use his speed.
Dragic for three. He misses. Ermolinski had to be careful there. He was surrounded by a deadly duo of Dragic and Doncic.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to be spilling the ball to those two. That's a very, very elite transition offense that you'd be giving the ball up to.
Well, plenty of encouragement for Craig Pedersen so far. Iceland have spent quite a bit of this first quarter in the lead. Slender advantage though it is. Gunnarsson. Byrington. Fredriksson. Oh, what a pass up to Byrington. That's brilliant from Iceland.
That's an absolute bullet pass from Fredriksson. Picks his man out and pings the bounce pass into the low post of Byrington. Great vision.
Dragic trying to use the screen from Randolph, shoots from distance. Scrappy stuff from Slovenia right now. This is the pass again from Fredriksson. Great vision and execution as well. Three of Iceland's players leading the scoring in the game. Dragic out to Luka Doncic for three. And he misses out. Iceland to extend the lead further now. It's Stephenson. And he lays it up. Doesn't quite get it to rattle, but follows it up. And here's Fredriksson up the baseline, ignoring Doncic. Gunnarsson, shot clock down to 5. It's Stephenson, jump shot 2, good! Iceland with a 5-point lead at the back end of the first quarter.
Pretty sure no one had that down in their script for today's game. But the Icelandic fans are loving it, and that's a huge shot by Stephenson. Being able to step into Doncic, create the space as he fades away. Tough, tough move.
Slovenia starting with their strongest 5, no question about the seriousness with which they're taking this game. Igor Kokoshkov spoke in the post-game press conference following the game against Greece that they would give their all in the game against Iceland. There'll be no complacency, but Iceland have just been tremendous in this first quarter.
I think the attitude was summed up by Acox in the post-game press conference after the last game, where he said it doesn't matter whether they're NBA stars, we're playing on the same court in the same game, and that's all that matters. That's the attitude they have to take.
Drag it to the pass, and it slips out of the hands of Randolph.
Knocked away by Ermolinski, good quick hands, he recovered back into the passing lane.
Doncic to inbound, 4 seconds left. Chanchar steadies himself, then sets out a pass, and it's good. It's a neat finish for Slovenia. Klemen Prepelic with the score to reduce the arrears, but it's Iceland that take the first quarter by 2. Good time for Prepelic to come up with his first score at the end of the first 10. It's Iceland 25, Slovenia 23. There's an Icelandic birthday party taking place right now, but there'll be an even bigger party if Iceland manage to record their first ever EuroBasket win, and against a very strong Slovenian side. What do you make of those stats, Mark?
Well, it shows you all you need to know really with regards to the first quarter. Iceland have done exactly what Coach Pedersen asked for. He said, make sure we get the easy baskets. If we don't get the easy baskets and create easy baskets, we're going to struggle. On top of that, they're absolutely raining down the threes on Slovenia, something they haven't really done this tournament. 4 from 7 from outside, shooting 57%. Half their scores coming from the perimeter. If they can continue to do that throughout the game, this could actually be a reasonably close game when we're getting down to the clutch moments in the fourth.
Well, it's early days. Iceland won't be getting carried away with themselves, I'm sure. But we said a lot rested on how Alkur Palsson played in this game. It's been a very encouraging start from him, shooting 75% from the field, 8 points.
Yeah, a big game so far from Palsson. They'll need that to continue if they want to come away with their first ever EuroBasket win.
So back underway in the second quarter. Here is Elvar Fredriksson. Byrington recovers well. And just about finds Christopher Acox. Now Stephenson. There was a nasty little collision there between 2 Slovenian players. So Randolph was one of them. Matic Rebec, the other.
Yeah, offensive foul call down Fredriksson as he's slicing down the lane. It's caused a contact between the 2 Slovenian players. Yeah, pushed Rebec into Randolph.
See quite clearly there for the replay. I'm pleased to say both Rebec and Randolph are okay. Rebec trying to fill the shoes of Goran Dragic, who's taken to the bench. Prepelic for 3. Made a beauty just before the end of the first quarter. This one was a little further out. Palsson with the pass into Byrington, and he draws the foul.
So far, Byrington has had one of his better performances here at EuroBasket. 7 points, 4 rebounds in the first 8 minutes. The 35-year-old will be enjoying today's game so far.
I'm always amazed by the number of boards he racks up, given the fact that usually his battles, he's the undersized player. Two from the line, and Iceland have a 4-point lead over unbeaten Slovenia. Doncic. Now Rebec to Prepelic. Slovenia moving well. Randolph, what a take that was under pressure, and draws the foul from Palsson.
That's a difficult one for Palsson to take. He looked like he was straight up. Looked like good defense from our position. Stephenson trying to front the post. Randolph over the top. No, he is coming forward. That's a good call by the official. It looked like he was straight up, but he is still moving forward.
First action from the charity strike for Slovenia today. And no mistake from Anthony Randolph. Wilhelmsen comes off the foot of Prepelic. Wilhelmsen shot clock into single digits. It's put up by Wilhelmsen, and he rims out, and Chanchal, who said he's so good defensively, manages to snap up the board. Doncic, good pass. Chanchal was left open, misses the shot, and Rebec was in quickly to grab the loose ball.
Slovenia seem to have picked up the intensity in this second quarter on both ends of the floor.
Shot clock down to 3. Rebec out to Doncic. He's going to have to go for it from way downtown, and he makes it.
That is a huge three-point shot from Doncic. Under pressure, shot clock running down, no option. He's a long, long way out from the basket to take that. His feet are almost on the centre court logo when he shoots that.
Well, a little deflating for Iceland, because they would have been happy to have restricted Doncic to shooting from that far out, but he made it. He puts Slovenia into the lead. Craig Pedersen scored timeout.
Move the ball to the other side, so we get a closeout. Then we can attack. We keep it here. They got control of us. Move it to the other side of the court. Next time up, we run horn side. Okay. Then run Hawk. Flanker for Yoda Martin coming. Then
we're staying wide. Look for big fellow inside. Defensively, we can switch. I was telling Perle, we can't front in transition. It's very difficult to front because nobody's on the weak side. 3 quarters until somebody tells me on the weak side, I'm there for you, okay? Listen, hey, stay organized. Who's going to do something to break and play, go on chill, go on switch. Hey, opening, I'm a Dinamo, 50 bet your 5 man. Hey, ulazimo 34 out. 34 out. Dinamo punch.
Yeah, interesting to hear both the timeouts there. Looking at the Iceland side of things, interesting comment from Coach Pedersen. He's saying we can't afford to keep the ball in one area of the court. At the moment, they're very static in how they're moving the ball. He's looking to make sure they rotate the ball, get the ball quickly round to the weak side, make the Slovenian defense have to move, change and adjust. Because at the moment, as he put it, they're controlling them. When they keep the ball on one side in one area, they're controlling them. And that obviously all comes off the back of a huge three by Luka Doncic before that timeout.
Doncic leading the way for Slovenia on 8 points. Here's Alka Byrington. Paulsen. The high post, what a shot that is from Paulsen, and he moves into double digits.
Yeah, another strong shot by Paulsen. Not the offense though that Iceland will want. The ball's still not moving quick enough for them to cause Slovenia problems.
Chanchal stealing a march into the lane before setting up Randolph, who gets it back, taking on Byrington. He's got his hands full defending. There's the foul. Again, it's Paulsen who has the foul called on him.
That's great hustle by Rebec, working so hard on the offensive glass. Not something that will be within his remit. Chasing down, getting the body on Wilhelmsen. Wilhelmsen goes down easily, and Rebec falling to the floor as he throws the shot up.
Want to be a little bit careful here. Alka Paulsen, he's had a very good start to the game, but he's on 2 personal fouls as Doncic takes to the Slovenian bench, and Rebec will look to put Slovenia into the lead here.
Just clarification from the officials, it was actually 2 attempts that Rebec should have taken from the charity stripe. But both teams went after the rebound after the first attempt.
It was a little bit confusing for a moment. Scores level. Goran Dragic comes back in. Jančar Rebec go for a sit down. Phil Helmsen now for Iceland to the front court.
Slovenia now dropping into a zone, slightly more match-up than Iceland, but still into a zonal defence structure.
Incredibly, the lead has changed hands 11 times so far. Dragic just lost control of the ball for a moment there. All smiles for Goran Dragic, playing his last ever international basketball here at EuroBasket 2017. It's a treat to be watching it. But he won't be happy. Slovenia come home with a medal as Prepelic takes aim and fires in a three.
Seems Prepelic is only happy to be taking threes when he's under pressure. Such beautiful form, even when he's being chased down by the Icelandic defence.
The lead changes again. It's now in Slovenia's hands. Hermansen to Palsen. And now Stephenson looking for a little bit of space. Good quick pass this time off to Palsen. And Palsen keeps his scoring run going. He's 5 from 6 from the field.
I don't imagine we'll see Slovenia stay in their zone defence. A little bit of confusion at the top of the zone, enabling Palsen to make himself some space for the bucket.
Dragic, good pass out to Blažić, and Blažić fires the three. Manson puts it up. Good. We've got the famous Icelandic clap going on in the background.
Yeah, the Icelandic fans have been absolutely amazing. I think the French guard, Jackson, summed it up the best. Icelandic fans are the definition of real fans. Great quote.
Dragic tonight. Good work by Barrington, but here comes Dragic, and he always responds in some kind of a fashion, and that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, Dragic moves up to 6 points, and you can make an entire highlight reel just of the drive to the basket from Dragic. It's the same move every time. He waits for the contact to come, waits for the defender's arms to come across him, then he releases the ball when he knows he's picked the foul up.
First mistake really that Barrington's made. Speaking of the Icelandic fans, we've had some notable people coming and supporting the team. The president of the country was here, the sports minister, the whole national football team were here on last week before their game in Finland.
It definitely looks like EuroBasket fever's taken over Iceland.
Manson with a mid-range two, and he knocks it down. Dragic. Randolph bounce pass, Blažić denied, Palsen came in and blocked it.
Great defensive effort by Palsen. And the Icelandic fans showing their appreciation for the tough defensive work he's put in. Blažić picks up his second foul there as well. Just comes across and rejects Blažić. And Blažić compounds the error by giving away the foul.
Phil Helmsen. Now Acox. Phil Helmsen for three. Just left it short, comes off Randolph, and possession will stay with Iceland. Palsen brings it back out, shoots from range. This is the iron, comes back and Dragic with a rebound. Called on Phil Helmsen. Well, we've seen that little pockets of brilliance from Iceland in games, but this is the first sustained quality we've seen from them.
Yeah, it's what we've been talking about the whole tournament, that Iceland have shown those glimmers, those glimpses of being able to battle with the best teams in Europe, but they haven't been able to do it for more than those glimpses. This, I think, is the longest period where they've actually looked competitive and looked really strong against what is the strongest team in the group so far, unbeaten Slovenia. There's you know, Coach Pedersen will be absolutely thrilled with his team's performance so far. Can they take it all the way through, though, into that fourth quarter and give themselves the opportunity to create an upset?
First sight of Trygve Klenarsson today. The youngster that's only been playing the sport for a few years, but has recently signed for the ACB side at Valencia. Paulsen out to Hermansen for three. He misses out. Klenarsson didn't quite get to the rebound. Dragic. Still here with Dragic. And bounce pass to Vidmar in traffic. That was beautifully worked by Slovenia.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough welcome to the court for Klenarsson, going up against Vidmar, the experienced Slovenian big man. Makes him pay straight away, slips off the back of him. Dragic finds the pass. Vidmar will go to the line for the extra one.
And adds the extra.
Iceland need to be careful now. They don't want this gap to get out any bigger.
Hermansen puts it up. Oh, and tapped in by Klenarsson. Great response.
That's a tough play for the big man. It really is. It's a nice pass, but it's a tough skill. The gentlest of touch from a guy that size. Lovely finish.
Dragic. Give and go. Back out now for Prepelic, who finds Dragic from the perimeter, comes into the lane, throws it away. Rare mistake by Dragic. Hermansen. Is Dragic going to win it back for his team? Yes, he is. And this is frantic. Will it result in Slovenian points? Well, it might.
Maybe even basket interference in this situation. Blažić went for the layup. Obviously, it doesn't go in. But as you can see, the Icelandic defender Klenarsson catches the basket, moving the ring. Not sure it would have changed whether the ball went in or not, but as the rules say, you can't touch the ring, the net, or the backboard. So the 2 points have been given to Slovenia, and they're back out to an 8-point lead again.
Fredriksson. Watched very closely, and it's been stolen. Muric puts it up for Dragic, denied by Hermansen. What a recovery that was. Now Fredriksson to the front court. Went the long way round. Hermansen to Paulsen. And Paulsen fouled by Prepelic. Iceland staying within touching distance.
Yeah, Slovenia have been very good on the defensive end. That's only their third team foul of the quarter, so it'll be a baseline ball. I'd imagine if we see Slovenia even score one more basket, I think Coach Pedersen will be forced into calling the timeout.
Stephenson. Lost possession again here. A lot of turnovers in the last minute or two. As Doncic found Prepelic, and Randolph sends it down with a two-handed jab.
Great play by Randolph and a very fluid Slovenian team. Interception by Randolph at one end. Doncic puts his foot down behind the back pass to Prepelic. No look pass from Prepelic to Randolph, and a two-handed flush from Randolph. Just showcasing some skills of the Slovenian team. And as predicted, Coach Pedersen calls a timeout.
Well, that was tasty. And confidence, you can see, is now roaming through the veins of Slovenia. They have their first double-digit lead.
We got to be active. Down there, early ball screens. Okay, when we're constantly active, we produce good stuff for ourselves. Huh? That's fine.
Hey, bonus for the last 3 minutes. Yeah. Hey, fucking drive the ball, we're gonna get on the free throw line. Back to back, open floor, clear. Open floor with Anthony right here. Okay, we're gonna clear out. Bullet pass, open floor, clear. Berlin, when you attack the lane, good screen right there, go be wide open. Come on, floor, clear. Next one, open pass. Open pass, okay, information. Open door.
No wonder Dragic has a smile on his face. Slovenia starting to find their rhythm, not just on the offensive end with Dragic finding the basket, but also defensively. They're causing some turnovers for the Icelandic team, who are up to 7 turnovers now, which will be a concern for Coach Pedersen. Coach Pedersen's saying, and I think the biggest issue he's got is on the offensive end, he's saying constantly active. He's asking for his players to be constantly working the offensive end, creating space, creating moves, working for one another.
Byrington's pass is a good one, and Paulsen gets it to go.
In the other timeout, Coach Kokoskov was making it clear to his team that they're in the bonus. And fouls like that is exactly what he's talking about. So far from the basket, not an offensive threat, but it's now going to send a good shooter, Prepelic, to the line for 2 easy shots. Good vision there by Berlingsson, and a silly foul by Hermansen for Iceland. Slovenia have a real opportunity now to stretch this lead out, and a lot of it is likely to come from the free-throw line.
The double-digit lead immediately restored. Fredriksson. Stephenson just about kept control. Tomčić responds the quickest off the iron. Randolph out to Prepelic, a wide open three. Good! Well, Slovenia's perimeter shooting's not been bad, averaging 44% from outside. And they're starting to find a lot more space now, Mark. The Iceland defence, is it just starting to fatigue a little bit, and Slovenia getting a few open threes?
Yeah, I think so. You have to look at the rotation of the Iceland team. You've got 5 guys there that have played the majority of the time. Paulsen's played all but 2 minutes. Stephenson's played all but 4 minutes. It's going to start weighing now, and the half-time locker room can't come quick enough for Iceland as it is.
That's right, just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Stephenson manages to keep hold of possession somehow. Hermansen throws it up, gets the foul.
2 quick fouls there for Dragic. That puts him onto his second foul. It's a smart move by Hermansen. Goes up strong, and then a little pump fake mid-air. Brings Dragic in to try and swat it, but he just catches his arm. Hermansen will get to the line.
4 Slovenian players now on 2 personal fouls.
It's always interesting sitting here watching Dragic have a conversation with the officials. Doesn't understand why the foul's been called. Even though Hermansen's effectively just done what Dragic does every time he goes to the basket. Draw the contact, keep the body shape and take the shot.
Randolph. Prepelic to Dragic, who looks to go in between 2 Icelandic players, and did before being pushed out of bounds. Foul call, actually.
Yeah, Malinski caught reaching in. Puts himself up onto 2 fouls as well. And sends Dragic to the line for 2 easy shots from the charity stripe. Dragic is shooting 85% from the line so far in EuroBasket 2017. Absolutely surgical.
He's made both shots. And he's in the double digits today. 11 points for Dragic. He's averaging over 26 per game so far in EuroBasket 2017. Hermansen no look past Malinski now with Byrington. Bounce pass. Hermansen couldn't take it into his stride.
It's a smart move by Iceland though. What they're doing is they're bringing Byrington to the perimeter, which is dragging Vidmar to the perimeter. So Slovenia don't have their natural rim protection. So if they can bring Byrington to the perimeter and he's making that slicing pass down into the low post, there isn't anyone at home to protect the basket for Slovenia.
Prepelic to Dragic, and he's carted into by Wilhelmsen. And more free throws coming here for Slovenia and for Dragic.
As predicted, Slovenia are just going to stretch this lead out from the free throw line. And Iceland the moment, they don't seem to have an answer for that.
Dragic has drawn 4 fouls in this first half. And he's 6 from 6 from the line now. Finally misses one. Minute to go then in the second quarter. Nomalinski to Stephenson. Doncic penalised. Only a first personal called on the 18-year-old. Got off to a slow start in that first game of the tournament, Doncic, but then quickly picked up the pace, and he's on 8 points and 5 rebounds for today. Dragic. Doncic into Gasper Vidmar. Vidmar called for travelling.
This is what Coach Pedersen was talking about. They're staying in one place on the court. The other players aren't active.
Nomalinski for 3. Slovenia's perimeter shooting has gone off the board a little bit in the second quarter, where it's stunningly impressive in the first. Last play of the half. Doncic in possession. Going to try from range once more and drains it again. He's specialising in the ones from the desert.
That's a huge way to finish the first half for Slovenia. Really emphasises how they've stepped up. All on his own, creating his own space. Wag of the finger to say he knew that was going down the moment he let it go. Big play from the young man.
It's a carbon copy of one that he drained earlier. Doncic up to 11 points. But importantly, Slovenia have responded after a tough first quarter. They trailed by 2, but they go into half-time leading by 17. Iceland 43, Slovenia 60 at half-time.
Yeah, as you highlighted just shortly ago, Iceland had a great opening quarter from the from distance, but second quarter they haven't hit one, and Slovenia have really started opening up. 47% from outside. That's a big difference, and that's really where they're making the difference felt. That and the free throw line. They've got to the free throw line pretty much twice as many times as Iceland have.
And Iceland's turnover count has grown rather higher than Craig Pedersen would have wanted.
Yeah, they've stopped protecting the ball. They had a lightning first quarter and a second quarter to forget.
I'll leave you with the highlights of the first half of action. There were no shortage of 3-point shots made, 12 all in all from both teams. And Slovenia looking well set, I think it's fair to say, to continue their winning run. They're 3-0 at the moment, and though they trailed after one quarter, they've come back strongly in that second with 37 points. The half-time score, Iceland 43, Slovenia 60. Welcome back to the Helsinki Arena here in Finland. It's Iceland against Slovenia. It's EuroBasket 2017 group phase action. Alka Paulsen is the game's high scorer, 14 points today. He's had a few games now that have caught the eye.
Yeah, he seems to be back on form today. He had a great opening game for Iceland. Had a couple of difficult games in between, and now game day 4. He seems to be back on fine form.
I suppose what he, and I guess Iceland as a whole, are striving for is consistency. They play a good quarter here, a good quarter there, but they struggled in that second quarter, Mark.
Yeah, they did. And you look at the good teams, you know, within the group. Slovenia, prime example of it. They know every time they come out on the floor, Dragic, Doncic, Vidmar, they know what they're getting from them. And that hasn't been the case for Iceland. Each game, we pretty much had a different top scorer. Last game out, it was Stephenson. This game, it looks like it's going to be Paulsen. And as a coach and as a teammate, it's very difficult to deal with that. Most teams have a go-to guy. So they know, right, if it's not going well, let's get the ball in his hands, let's work the offense around him, and we know he'll create and score. And Iceland have not really been able to do that. But that said, that's part of their strength. They work so hard as a team to keep themselves in the game. And you have to give them the respect that they're due. That first quarter, they had Slovenia on the back foot.
They do. They fight hard. They fight with a lot of national pride as well. A number of the other teams have given a lot of credit, not just to the fans, but the way the players are playing. And I think it was Craig Pedersen that said in the last press conference that his team, on paper, could and perhaps should lose by a lot more than they have been, 60, 70 points. But so far, they've been losing by 30, and at worst, I think it was against France, 36 points they lost by. So they are playing some really good stuff. It's just they're not winning games at them.
Yeah, absolutely they are. And a game like today is tough. You know, we talk about Dragic and Doncic, and then you've got Prepelic. You know, he goes completely under the radar. People don't particularly talk about him. And he's come on and hit 2 dagger threes and does so much on the defensive end. It's just a constant onslaught when you're playing teams like Slovenia. But that said, Iceland, they still do have the scoring potential. If they can replicate their perimeter shooting performance from the first quarter here in the third, they could drag themselves back into this game.
So here we go with the second half of this Group A encounter. Iceland 43, Slovenia 60. And here's Blažić who puts it up and in, and it's a quick fire start for Slovenia in the second half, just as they had in the first.
Yeah, too easy for the Slovenians there, just rolling off the screen on the baseline, and the lane opened up for him.
Here's Jonana Stephenson out to Martin Hermansen over on the far side. Stephenson blocked off, and that is the quality we said from Luka Doncic you can expect to see. Great pass to Muric, who backs it in off the glass.
Slovenia seem to be picking up where they left off. Very fluid on the offensive end.
Byrington. Well, Slovenia already qualified for the last 16 phase in Istanbul. That was guaranteed in the last game day. 3-0 coming into today. They're well set at the moment for 4-0. Here's Hermansen. That's a good pass out to Byrington. A little bit of space, and that's all he needs to send down the dagger 3.
Byrington's had his best game of the tournament so far. He's up to 12 points, 4 boards, 2 assists. The veteran is working very hard for Iceland right now.
He's the ball into the defensive end, but he is adding plenty to this Icelandic offense. As Doncic finds Vidmar. And Vidmar managed to just pick it up. Blažić in traffic. Hermansen wrestles it away from Muric and brings it to the front court. Bounce pass into Wilhelmsen. Wilhelmsen, short of options, just throws the ball into the midriff of Doncic.
Yeah, and that sums up the luck of Iceland. He threw it into Doncic, and it bounced off Doncic and hit Wilhelmsen on the foot before it went out, meaning a Slovenia ball. Plays like that don't go your way. You do kind of question if luck's on your side.
Nice well from Doncic there. Here's Muric. And now Goran Dragic. Better pass, Vidmar now up against 2 at the low post, and he missed the initial shot, but the follow's tapped in by Muric. And now here's Byrington, wide open with the pass. Good vision there.
And that's what Iceland need to do. They need to take advantage when they can. Vidmar was caught up under the basket on the offensive end, and Barrington got out running to make sure he was open.
Stephenson's needle assist there. Vidmar passing it to Muric. Muric throws the ball to Hermansen. Contact from Blasic there, no foul called. Hermansen steadies himself, shoots the three, but leaves it just short. And Doncic collects the rebound. Well, the top teams in Group A. We'll come to this in a moment. And Vidmar up to the basket and puts it in off the glass. Yeah, it's Group A and Group B that are brought together in the last 16 in Istanbul. Is there any team in Group B that Slovenia will be desperate to avoid?
It's a tough one to say. All the top teams in Group B, they've all, they've all had a loss. Lithuania being surprised by Georgia, Germany being surprised by Israel. So I don't think there's anyone they'd be desperate to avoid. But as you progress and the kind of bracket works itself out, if you can walk away with that first qualification spot out of your group, it is going to help you at some point down the line.
Well, a win for Slovenia here will guarantee them a top 3 spot in Group A. Their last game sees Slovenia take on France. That'll be a battle of heavyweights.
Yeah, that really could decide who walks away with top spot out of Group A.
Blasic to Vidmar. And Vidmar thought about going into the lane. Instead passes out to Dragic for 3. Good! Goran Dragic up to 15 points today. Keeping his impressive scoring rate going. Oh, beautifully done by Dragic. And Blasic back to Dragic, puts it up and one.
Interesting to see if Coach Pedersen calls a timeout now. Slovenia are in full flow. Smiles on all the players' faces. Yeah, as expected, Coach Pedersen calls a timeout, tries to stem the flow at the moment. Slovenia out to a 13-5 start to the third quarter. That's a nightmare for Iceland.
The lead has gone up to 25 from nowhere midway through the second quarter. This was a very tight game. Slovenia turning the screw. Iceland need to turn this around now quick.
But 5 men is rebound and ball cross match. Just talk to each other. Look out. Next time on a cross match, help each other. Yes, be careful. We still have 2 small fouls. Ajmo da radimo isto, L5, dajmo pass Rendel who protected some wide pin down. Be strong with the ball. Lazio coming here. Hey, we have a cross Luka! L5! Zalomi napravi blok na...
Interesting statistics on screen there, looking at the three-point shooting percentage. Iceland shooting 0% in the second quarter, and Slovenia starting 100% so far in this third quarter. Iceland will need to pick up their perimeter scoring if they're going to fight their way back into this one.
Funny how it turns around so quickly. The perimeter shooting was the strength of Iceland in the first quarter. Here's Alko Palsin. And Palsin shoots the 3. And they can't seem to recapture their range 4. Doncic looking very quickly and can't finish. Bravery from Ermolinski there. He took one for the team. Hermansen back out. Ermolinski bounce pass to Steinarsson, and then the ball's gone out of bounds, and Iceland will have the play.
Yeah, the Icelandic team are looking a little bit shell-shocked at the moment. They've come back onto court, and Slovenia have had a dominant 4 minutes.
Byrington thought about the 3, comes in instead. Randolph swallows up the loose ball. excellent from Slovenia since the first quarter, and they've not put a foot wrong. Vidmar and Doncic gets the roll, and extends the lead now to 28 points.
Slovenia will be very keen to extend this lead out. If they can get it to the high 30s, they then really can start rotating their bench and getting rest.
Paulsen for three, just left it short. Harrington couldn't claim the rebound. And Dragic comes away with it. He's on 18 points. He's having another good day. Doncic, Dragic comes into the lane, puts it out to Randolph from the perimeter. Not this time for him. It's good defense by Iceland, and Ermolitsky puts it up. Randolph now, strong runner that he is, finds Blazic. Foul's already been called. Offensive foul.
Yeah, Randolph not really in control of his body, and Paulsen sensibly just making the stand. Identified that Randolph wasn't even looking in the direction he was travelling. Offensive foul call. A little bit of frustration creeping into the Icelandic team now as well. Looking to the officials to help them out and get some calls.
On comes Klinarsson replacing Byrington.
Dragic gone to the bench now, and it wouldn't surprise me if Slovenia were able to keep this size of lead. You wouldn't see Dragic again today.
Paulsen comes inside, shoots up a jumper, misses. Randolph again with the ball. Puts him up to 4 rebounds today, with 6 points. Rebets. Randolph, long two. Shoots it long as well. Hermansen, bounce pass. Paulsen misses off the glass. Repage draws the foul. Well, what do you make of this guy, Coach Kokoskov? He's a canny guy. Don't really see his emotions fluctuate much in a game.
No, he's an interesting coach. He's very technical and tactical about how he's approaching the game.
Alley-oop pass, I think that was what it was attempted. Vidmar puts it in with a big one hand, but no, it didn't go through. Randolph with the reverse lay does eventually make it go down.
Slovenians are just lining up to be a part of the show now.
Ermolitsky. Hermansen blocked off. Ermolitsky bounced past Klinarsson, denied! Swatted by Randolph, but it is in vain as Hermansen puts up the jump shot too.
Great defense by Randolph, contesting Klinarsson right at the ring. High up. Hermansen, cool and calm though, drops the jumper.
Rebets out to the wing. It's Prepelic for three.
It's interesting, both teams have explored some zone defense. It's the most we've seen so far in Group A.
Ermolitsky's pass goes astray, and Prepelic, I think, takes the sensible option, lets it run out of bounds. More changes coming here for the Slovenians.
Yeah, Coach Kokoskov now trying to rotate his bench. Vidmar will take a rest again. If they can keep the lead out north of 20 points, I'd imagine you wouldn't see Vidmar again today.
Ziga Dimets will take up the low post position. Prepelic, Rebets. Rebets calling for support. And pings a pass out to Randolph from downtown, misses the shot.
That's good zone defense so far by Iceland. Partly due to Slovenia not really looking to break it down, not moving the ball quick enough, not setting screens on the right man in the right play, or even using those screens. The key to the zone defense, though, is all about communication. Iceland need to make sure they're talking the whole time.
Klinarsson. Steinarsson. Puts up a pass, Klinarsson grabs it. And he's jumping, he's impressive.
You could see he was tempted to try and use that as an alley-oop. Yeah, you could almost feel him want to throw that down with a bit of aggression.
Klinarsson gets in the way of the pass from Doncic to Randolph and flicks it out of play. 2:18 left in the third quarter. And the timeout has been called. That's called by Slovenia.
Okay, don't talk to referees. Može.
Flash a guy in here at the same time. All right? Listen, down here. Down here. We go 5 down flash. Then try and enter to Brynjar. Okay? Post up, come off, come back. All right? If they go over the top, would you just keep going, then trick that you're going to set it and go to the rim.
It's interesting to listen to Coach Pedersen, and it's a difficult situation he's in. A huge deficit against a great team in Slovenia, but the way he's approaching it, it's as if it's the opening tip of the game, which is great for the players because they have to treat it like that. They have to take every 24 seconds as an individual entity, keep themselves motivated, and that's where they'll benefit most from it. And they'll start looking forward towards their game against Finland tomorrow.
Prepelic gets up and with the finger roll, can't put it in. Dimets though on the response. I think it in. Jonathan Stephenson for 3. Followed up, and that's what Trygve Larsen gives you. What a follow. Put back up and in, off the glass. The youngster. Back out by Revets. Randolph. Oh, is that going to fall to? It'll fall to Steinarsson. And he gets it to go off the glass. Good spell since the timeout for Iceland. Doncic. Shooting out at Goran Dragic, who's just having a little bit of massage on the bench. Zorbak. Rebets drains the 3.
That's from distance for Rebets, and that is one of the issues you're going to have on the zone defense. You are going to give up some perimeter shots.
Nicely done by Steinarsson. Larsen always is there or thereabouts for the high ball, but this time he couldn't bring it down. Rebets to Randolph. Matic Rebets again. Leaves it well short. Slovenia recycled possession. Doncic for 3. Larsen at the board quickly. Steinarsson, it's got frantic again. Connects with the catch. Slovenia with numbers back.
Yeah, sensibly, Rebets starting to slow it down for Slovenia. Takes a blow himself. The fast-paced game is a way that Iceland could get back into this, so smart move by the Slovenian guard.
Doncic comes surging inside. Goes back out, Rebets shot clock down to 3, takes aim, and can't get it to go. Martin Hermansen. Elvar Frederiksen, I beg your pardon. Steinarsson takes a sit down. Vlatko Čančar's being primed and ready. This is Dimets.
It was interesting to hear Coach Kokoskov's comments with regards to Čančar. He sees him as a real future star, particularly on the defensive end of things, saying he's got a great IQ, he works so hard, executes the game plan for him, can really rely on him, and you know, those comments of such a young player really does carry an awful lot of weight from a player, from a coach the calibre of Kokoskov.
Well, he's only 20 years of age, Čančar, plays with Megaleks in Serbia. A very exciting young team, and the Slovenian roster is actually pretty young when you look at it. There's only 2 players over 30. One of them is Dragic, who's 31. The other is Zagorac. There's 18-year-old Doncic, Čančar we mentioned there. There's Nikolic, who's 22. This could be a very good Slovenian side in the future.
Oh, it's generation after generation with Slovenia. There's an absolute conveyor belt of world-class talent.
Fredriksson puts it up and drains the three from the corner. Good finish to the corner for Iceland.
So interesting finish to the corner as well. Double technical foul called. Obviously a bit of a battle off the ball. Interested to see who that's from.
It's Chanchar against,
yeah, it's Stephenson and Doncic. Just getting a little bit physical. A little bit of afters, a little bit of handbags. Both players punished with a double technical.
So 22-point game here. Iceland 59, Slovenia 81 with 1 quarter left to play. And Slovenia, again, have impressed, Mark.
Yeah, they have. They had a huge second quarter, 37-18 second quarter, which has really blown this game open. And they started well in the third quarter, but Iceland have worked really hard to drag their way back inside to this game. And then you look at shots like Fredriksson's from the corner there at the end. That's a great shot, and that's how they can chip away at it and take some real positives from this game.
Well, they certainly learned from every EuroBasket experience. It was their first at 2015, the 2015 edition. Still looking for that first win here in 2017. What do you think the main things that Iceland have learned from the experience are?
I think each time they go through it, they're going to learn what level they need to be at. It sounds like a silly thing to say, but going up against these teams, that's the only time that these players are really going to experience and understand the level they need to take it to. And as a nation, the Icelandic basketball community will now start to understand how they need to build towards getting those wins in EuroBasket.
Larsen puts it into the hands of Elvar Fredriksson. Stephenson. Because every EuroBasket they play had, it's more exposure. A lot of youngsters in here starting from the age of 0, seemingly. There's a lot of Icelandic babies who've been brought to the arena, but certainly it'll inspire future generations taking part in EuroBasket.
Oh, absolutely. The media coverage that the Icelandic national team will have been having back home will be off the chart compared to what basketball probably usually gets within the country. And you just hope that makes more young people picking up a basketball for the first time instead of maybe other sports, and Iceland really benefiting from that increase in participation.
There certainly seems to be great enthusiasm for the sport. Here is Fredriksson with the pass. Larsen managed to take it into his stride, but then didn't know quite what to do with it, and it's put out of bounds by Fredriksson. And the last touch. The last touch came off a Slovenian player.
It's interesting to see Dragic back in the game. Obviously, Coach Kokoskov not 100% sure that this game's been closed out yet.
Very interesting. And here's Pulsion for 3. They need shots like that to drop if they are going to claw this deficit back. Rich to Chanchar for 3. Good! First score of the night for Vlatko Chanchar. Fredriksson going around the back, now Ermolinski. What are his options? Has to go back to Fredriksson. Shot clock down to single digits. Fredriksson puts up a 3-point attempt and banks it in.
Gets the luck of the roll in that situation, but sometimes that's what you need. Coach Pedersen of Iceland will still be concerned, though. The Icelandic offense is very static, not much movement. Iceland dropping back into their 2-3 zone defense, hoping that limits the rebounding impact that Vidmar will have.
Logie Gunnarsson comes in. Experienced campaigners in this Icelandic team. Dragic switches it. And Linsky from the wing inside to Muric, and he puts up the jump shot too.
The key to breaking the zone is going to be that ball movement from Slovenia.
Dragic reclaims possession and feeds Muric all on his own, puts it up with a soft. Nice transition basketball from Slovenia. There's a mistake.
That's a very wild pass from Stephenson. That's turnover number 18 for Iceland. An awful lot of them have been forced by Slovenians' great defence. But mistakes like that where they're completely unforced, Iceland can't afford.
Chanchar inbounds to Dragic, the Slovenian captain, determined to get his country on the podium here at EuroBasket 2017. Prepelic adds another three.
Such a simple offence using Vidmar to break the top two.
Passing. Not another turnover, it's recaptured though. Fredriksson sets it up, and Gunnarsson. There's problems here because Stephenson's down hurt in the lane.
It's Paulsen that's down.
Beg your pardon.
It's his shoulder. It looks like he's landed heavy on his shoulder. He doesn't look too comfortable. Let's have a look in the replay. Oh yeah, he's hit Vidmar's knee, which is effectively like running into a tree trunk. So yeah, Paulsen will come off holding his shoulder.
Paulsen wanting to continue there. Craig Pedersen instructing him to come and sit on the bench, and Christopher Acox comes in.
Yeah, the Icelandic medical team will want to have a look before Paulsen continues.
Prepelic to Dragic, puts it up. Chanchar denied actually by the ring.
It's a great backdoor cut by Chanchar, a good vision by Dragic. Again, Iceland need to be careful. That's what I was talking about with regards to communication. You have to be aware of where the offensive players, and you have to be talking about where they're making cuts, handing a player over to another player within the zone. Otherwise, they easily find space.
Iceland have called timeout here in the final quarter.
Listen, first of all, on defense, okay, let's try and go 12. So go man on the first action, we're zone. Listen, when they reverse the ball, and let's say Jon got to come up to this forward here, and they got a guy here, Tracey, see if you can rotate. And then this guy got to rotate to the middle of this guard to maybe drop down. Yeah. Just so that we can delay that, so we can get set again.
Right? And Alva, if the ball goes to the side and there's nobody in the corner, you guys can't go over and bump. Then stay maxed up. They just move us here and then they swing it around.
Hey!
Yeah, listening into the Icelandic timeout there, talking about the defensive end, how they need to work, exactly what we've been talking about rotating, making sure that they're matching up as best they can in the zone. But it is all about that rotation, making sure that when Slovenia overload the zone, which they will, that the Icelandic defenders are rotating and matching up.
Stephenson out to Gunnarsson. 7 minutes left of this contest as Acox goes back out to Gunnarsson, and Fredriksson up against Dragic, teasing him. Good pass, Gunnarsson denied. Big play by Vidmar, but it comes back out, and Fredriksson throws it up. And I can't remember the last time that Iceland made a three-point shot.
Yeah, I think it was almost a spitter of the shot he's just taken there. It's Fredriksson in the corner very early on in this quarter.
Vidmar. Chanchar. Out to Dragic, left open for a moment, and that's all he needs to drain the three.
It's amazing the impact that Gasper Vidmar has on the offence for Slovenia. He works so hard inside that the entire defence of Iceland collapses, leaving Dragic open for the 3. That's Vidmar's 6th assist.
Incredible. He's like a defensive magnet. He draws them all in and leaves space for the rest.
For a big man, he's got twice as many assists as he has rebounds. It's unbelievable performance and great vision.
Dragic puts it up. Oh, it's well recycled out to Chanchar now. Dragic using Vidmar as the screen. Chanchar throws that into Acox. It's a little bit less of Luka Doncic. The reason for that is because he has clocked up 4 personal fouls.
I think with a 30-point lead and 5:41 to go, and Vidmar and Dragic going to the bench, I think Coach Kokoskov is feeling confident that his rotation players can keep Iceland at arm's length. But this is an opportunity for Iceland.
Chanchar, yeah, gets it to go. A little bit of a rattle.
These are the moments where Iceland can assert themselves on the game.
Hermansen puts it up. Acox banks it in. Slovenia 4 points from triple digits. Turned over. Acox up to the rack himself. Can't finish the job this time. And Muric was there as the rebounder. Prepelic to Muric. Muric back to Prepelic. Rebec. Zigidevic's an example of the kind of firepower that Slovenia have on the bench. They've lost it though. Now here's Logi Gunnarsson, puts it up. A little underarm attempt, he won't get it to go, but he will get a foul for his troubles.
Yeah, wholesale changes for Slovenia now. Rebec and Muric going to the bench with Zagorac and Blazic coming in.
The veteran of the team, Sasa Zagorac, 33 years of age. Hermansen, one-handed, drains it.
Iceland will be keen to push on now, really make a big hole in this deficit.
Zagorac. Blazic rolls it out. Zagorac from range. Gunnarsson comes to the front court. Fredriksson. Acox can get the rebound, wanted a foul. Officials were silent. Rebec all the way into the lane and foul. Firing this time. His second personal call on him today. Zagorac left open and fires the 2.
And this is the important thing for Slovenia, no matter who they have on the court, who's taking those 5 spots on the floor. The machine continues to work. There aren't weak links, letting the side down, not knowing the offensive structure. They continue to flow.
Hermansen puts it up and in. He's up to 18 points now, Martin Hermansen. Zagorac beats Chanchar. What a pass to Blazic, and it's ton up for Slovenia.
Yeah, beautiful way to bring up the 100 points. Just fluid offense.
Acox goes back out. Fredriksson now Hermansen, who's had a good game already. And Acox can't tip it in. But he does manage to win possession of the ball for Iceland. Gunnarsson into Acox, taking on Zagorac, puts it around the corner and it gets it to go.
That's a great move by Acox, using his strength and quick footwork against Zagorac to get the 2 off the glass.
First 100-point performance of the tournament for the Slovenians. Zakarats throws it away, straight to Byrington. Well, a win here for Slovenia, and defeats later today for France and Finland would ensure that Slovenia finish top of Group A. This win will guarantee them a top 3 position, so they know they'll avoid whoever finishes top of Group B in the first round of the final phase.
Yeah, no surprise there, unsportsmanlike foul called on Rebec, just pulling on the shirt. Fredriksson, as he turns the corner, not going to let him go, so he's going to swap shirts with him early. From the Slovenian point of view, I think the interesting thing and the compliment to Slovenia is that it's not necessarily Slovenia looking at who they're going to be playing in the next round. I have a feeling an awful lot of teams in Group B will not want to finish 4th if Slovenia finish top. I think they'll want to try and avoid what is becoming a very impressive Slovenian roster.
Winning is a habit, and they are certainly in it at the moment. 4-0 it'll be after this game. Fredriksson to Acox. Shoots from range. And this is by a distance. Blazic.
Slovenia still working hard, even though they're up by 27 points. They're still trying to execute their offense as hard as they can. Pressure on the defensive end.
Zakarats. Chance for some of the bench players to stake a claim for more minutes to the coach, Igor Kokoshkov, as well. Shot clock down to 2. Chanchar takes aim. Misses, but the clock will reset and hit the rim. Zakarats. Rebec using the screen set by Dimets. This time the rebound is swallowed up by the match into Klinarsson. Now by Ziga Dimets. He's got a trip to the line here, Dmitry Klinarsson, for the first time today.
It's been an interesting experience so far, EuroBasket for Klinarsson. Only 4 years playing the game. He won't have experienced anything like this within the basketball remit. Next year he'll experience some big games as well, having signed for Valencia and ACB, so he'll be involved in some big games on the domestic level. But what an amazing experience for the young man to come here to Helsinki and represent his country.
His first experience of EuroBasket, but he'll be hoping for many, many more. He'll be one of the leaders in the team for years to come. And he has that one thing that a lot of the Icelandic players don't have, and that's height. It's a simple thing, but it's very, very helpful when you're a centre. Blazic out to Chanchar. Dimets misses the hook shot. They just look really settled, don't they, Slovenia? They've got a starting 5 that Kokoshkov trusts. He's given clear roles to all of his bench players as well. That's got to stand them in good stead.
Oh, it has. That, you know, they know where everyone's going to be. You can see it on their offensive end. Blazic out on the break.
And throws it down one-handed.
And this is what you're talking about, players fighting for those extra minutes, showing what they can do for their team. But yeah, it does. You can see it when they play on the offense. They don't even need to look when they're making passes. They know exactly where their teammates are going to be. You know, they drive to the basket and throw no-look pass to the perimeter. Another impressive performance from Slovenia. And the waves keep increasing in size that are being sent around EuroBasket. A lot of teams will be trying to avoid Slovenia in the knockout stages in Istanbul. And Iceland can hold their heads high. They ran them hard in that opening quarter. And again, not able to stretch that period of impressive elite performance past the opening quarter. But they should be proud of what they've achieved again here today.
Well, the buzzer goes, and Slovenia have their 4th win in a row at EuroBasket 2017. This by far the most comfortable victory to date. They broke 3 figures. They know they are guaranteed a place in the final phase in Istanbul, and they're also guaranteed a top 3 spot, so they'll avoid whoever finishes top of Group B. and the stats bearing out Slovenian dominance.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the three-point shooting, 43%, 13 from 30. That's impressive. It just shows how many options they have on the perimeter. Slovenia also winning the rebounding war, and again, a real highlight to their team basketball, 27 assists. And across the board, bizarrely enough, Vidmar leading them on the assist category with 6 assists for him. They will be a little bit concerned about the turnover situation. Slovenia 14, they'd wanted to keep it lower than that. But overall, they'll be very happy.
Goes to them in the second half, though, when Slovenia were already looking well set for victory. Doncic adding 7 rebounds. Dragic again, the high scorer for Slovenia. Iceland, well, they didn't disgrace themselves again. They lost by just the 27 points in the end, and at half-time, they were looking like they were struggling. They responded well.
Yeah, they did. Iceland can hold their heads high in what's been another tough game for them. Manson leading them with 18 points. Beringsson having the best game of the tournament for him with 14 points. And Paulsen having a bit of a resurgence with 14 points also. So there's lots of positives that they can take through to the final game day here in Helsinki.
Lots of proud Icelanders watching on. They've been their usual selves again today, offered relentless support and loud support in their team's favour. But ultimately, it is as we came in, a winless Iceland against an unbeaten Slovenia. That is still the case after 4 quarters of gripping basketball action here in the group phase of EuroBasket 2017. We'll leave you with highlights, but the news is that Slovenia have won their 4th game in a row here at EuroBasket 2017, and they are through to the last 16 here, or in Istanbul they will be. It's finished Iceland 75, Slovenia 102.
We're